think if I was like delivering everything early, I would immediately like double my income and success.
Right.
Like that's like the hardest, but it's like we have no boss. It's such a weird industry. I've done negotiations after the song's been out.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
we all
what
have.
is going on? Like,
Let's
such a funny industry. There is sort of like you learn everything and then you forget it.
Right. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like,
how I feel about everything. Like guitar chords, you learn all of them and then you just try to like let it leave your mind.
It's like that power chord sounds great.
Yeah, you don't want to be thinking about it. Then you want to just think of like, well, what sounds good?
Right. Yeah.
But it's like to have it all just like in the back of your mind.
Welcome to Season 3 of Producer Points. I'm your host, Justin Gamella. Join me as we continue our deep dives and one-on-one conversations with producers, mixers, artists, and songwriters. This season, full episodes are for Producer Pal subscribers. Join the community on Patreon where you'll get more than just those full episodes. All right, let's jump in. This is Producer Points. Today on Producer Points, I'm sitting down with a producer and songwriter I've worked with a decent amount over the years, and someone who genuinely raises the bar every time he walks into a room. He's worked with artists like Sabrina Sterling, Rosie, Katelyn Tarver, Ashley Kutcher, Peggy, Mihalea, John Kay, Ryan Nealon, and so many more, always bringing a level of musicianship and intention that immediately elevates the song. He is one of the most skilled players and singers I've ever had the pleasure of working with. That alone would already put him in rare territory, but on top of that, his songwriting and production chops are completely next level. He's thoughtful, insanely musical, and a total pro in the room. Every session with him feels focused and centered around making the song better. I love being around this guy and always look forward to his legendary, hilarious Instagram stories that somehow always manage to put a smile on my face. But enough of that. I'm really excited to dig into his process, his path, and the way he approaches songwriting and production. Please join me in welcoming Andrew Tufano. Dude, thanks for being here.
Dude, that was awesome.
I meant every word.
Very flattering. It does sound fun to write. I would like to just be the hype man.
That's what I become when I write these intros. I'm just like hype manning people.
Yeah.
And it's like way easier when I know the people decently well. I'm starting to have more guests on now that I don't know as well, and I'm like struggling.
Yeah.
Because it's like I just end up saying like the same thing over and over again. Because I always try and make them like personal as best I can. So I'll reach out sometimes if it's someone I don't know. If we have a mutual friend, I'm like, what's a little like quip? Yeah. Like what's something you can tell me about them that like would put a smile on their face. Like we had like Pom Pom on last year, and I hadn't worked with her, and God, who was it? It doesn't matter. They were like, yeah, she makes a dope margarita. I was like, great.
Yeah, she's like, how do you know that?
In the episode, it's like, I do research. I do my shit. Well, dude, thank you for coming on down here and doing the episode. You just got off tour with Katelyn Tarver.
Yes.
Who we both work with a ton. I mean, I haven't gone on tour in like 10 years. So how was that?
I haven't gone on tour in like 5 years.
Yeah.
This is like the ultimate side quest of my life. But her guitarist, our mutual friend Ryland, had another gig that like conflicted, and I ran into him at a party, and he was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I need to find someone for these days. And I was just like, I feel like I could do it.
Right.
And he was describing, the more he told me, I was like, this tour sounds awesome. Like, it's like the biggest tour I've ever done. Caitlin's like a good friend. I've known her for like 6 years, maybe more. And like, yeah, so it's been amazing. Yeah. But it is like crazy. It's like a whole different part of my brain.
Tour. It's completely different.
I just like forgot. It's like when you're producing and you're playing instruments, you're being really creative and like messing up on purpose and trying to push your limits and come up with stuff. And then live, it's like, I can't make a single mistake.
No, you have to. I always tell people who don't understand what like touring is that you're putting on a play and you do the same exact thing every single night.
Yeah.
And you're either okay with that or you're not. But like, that's what it is. Unless you're in like some kind of like jam band. But like, that's not what the music we're making. You have to like play every part the same exact way. Because if you don't, like, I've learned that like, just from my own experience, like you can throw someone else off if you like try and do something different. Everyone's like, whoa, what's happening? And
I have like a 4-bar guitar solo, and that's like my space.
Right.
But it's still pretty much the same solo every time. It's like,
but like, at least I know, like, this is the one part where you can be cool and creative, and like, otherwise it's like, nope, we're good here. Like, what's like, I don't want to go too deep into that, but like, what's kind of like the preparation for that? Is obviously it's learning the songs, and is it a little bit, are you just like doing what Ryland was doing, or were you kind of like just kind of improvising a little bit too?
So this was really interesting because they're mostly arena shows were opening for Big Time Rush, which I didn't know they were like that. No offense to the Big Time Rush. They are like huge, low key. And I came in the middle of the tour. So Ryland left me his exact rig. He's a legend. He made
Yeah.
it so easy. But like I came in no rehearsals, and he sent me. He made it without Ryland.
For our listeners, is Ryland, his last name is Blackington or Black?
Oh, Ryland Holland.
Holland. Okay, different. There's another Ryland,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah, okay. So Ryland Holland,
Multiple
just for
Ryland Holland
yeah.
sent me every possible file that I would need. He has the Kemper pedal board changing automatically. I don't have to touch the pedal.
Amazing.
It's like synced to the song. There's count-ins everywhere. That's
Yeah.
like you come in here in our ears. And then he sent me like the tracks with and without him, and then videos of him playing everything. And I just like learned that.
Yeah.
And then we showed up, and like we had time and sound check to try a few.
Right.
But like
so
there
you
were
were really
songs-
like, you didn't even rehearse. You were just like kind of thrown in.
No, and there were songs.
Yeah.
The first show of this last run in Amsterdam was sold out, 17,000 people, and there was a song that we had never played together, and I was just like playing it for the first time, and I was like, that's literally absurd, but Ryland made it.
Yeah, easy.
Doable.
Crazy. I mean, what a blessing just to have like, here you go.
Yeah.
Just like learn it and you should be good to go.
No, but
Yeah.
I'm doing one more run with them, and I'm doing like the proper beginning to end, so we're gonna have rehearsals.
Okay, that's good.
Which is like that makes sense. But it's so funny now. I'm like, what do we need rehearsals for? Like,
Yeah.
let's just play. Like,
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just to get the
Yeah.
nerves out, I guess. Right. Yeah. That's crazy. It's like, I mean, where's I going with this? I haven't played a show like that in a while, but when I was touring, we didn't have as many tools, I guess,
Mhm.
as like it is like everyone has in-ears now. Everyone has like these count-ins. Everyone is
Yeah.
on Ableton doing the thing. And it's just like when I started touring, it was like just beginning to start doing that.
Mhm.
And when I was ending touring, like that's when it was like we were beginning to do it, but like we were definitely like there wasn't like a system in place that a lot of people have now. Where like this is just how you do it, and like go for it. And even like the sense of people being able to practice like in a small space because you can just practice with your in-ears.
Yeah.
Right. Like even like drummers are like, yeah, I can just practice on my electric kit. Like it's fine. It's
Dude,
the
it's
same
crazy.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
It makes it so much easier versus God, I spent so much money like renting out rehearsal spaces and just doing the fucking thing.
Mhm.
A lot of producers will end up touring with artists that they work with a lot. I think it's a really great way to build that connection even further.
Mhm.
Help. I think like as producers, it's on us to kind of like, not that Katelyn is an up and coming artist, right? But like when we're developing artists, I used to do it. I did it with Ash a lot, where I would tour with her a decent amount, just because it was like, well, I wrote half these songs, like might as well just play with you. What's it like being, a full-time producer and songwriter, and when you're on tour, like balancing some of the things that you have to do? Do you just say like, fuck it, I'm just touring these couple weeks, or like what's kind of your...
When we did America, I was pretty good because the way that tour buses work in America is like there's more. You always have the bus with you. It parks outside the venue. It parks outside the hotel. There was like a lot more like time where I could bounce stems.
Right.
And like in Europe, not only was I like trying to see these cities. That's the main thing. I was
Right.
like being a tourist, but the tour bus can't park everywhere in Europe.
Right, 'cause
So
everything's
you're
smaller.
constantly, you're grabbing all your stuff off the bus, and then it drives away, and then you're like, some of the dates we were flying between cities, so there was like less time to like bounce stuff.
Right.
And I think I sent like one thing off in Europe, but it was also December, and the whole industry kind of shuts down.
Right, yeah,
it
it
was
works
like
out.
whatever. But yeah, no, in America, I did a little bit of work. I was like doing some of the Rosie Christmas
right,
stuff,
yeah, I
like
remember Rosie
in the
was telling
green
me,
room.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure that's like annoying for the
Yeah.
artist, but I tried to also make it so everything was done in December.
Right.
Like,
Kind of planning ahead and around it. That's what I
Yeah.
would try and do, where it's like, okay, I'm going on tour for like 2-3 weeks. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to try and get as much done as I can. I'll bring all my stuff in case someone needs something, and that's all.
yeah,
That-
like
that's
I'm
the best
always
you
gonna
can do.
have my laptop and my hard drive and
Right.
stuff because I'm like, you never know.
Right.
It's always like the big stuff is like the biggest artists are like, we need the stems
Yeah.
in 4 hours, and you're just like, okay, like I just don't want to be in a situation.
But do you need it in 4 hours?
I feel like they don't.
They don't. They just want to like have it, so
Yeah.
they say like, well, we got it in whatever,
Yeah.
this artist is going to go in and cut it. We have it now. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
sure. I get it. Listen, as a producer who needs deadlines,
Mhm.
I need a deadline.
I need some. I mean, I'm like, that's my biggest. I think if I was like delivering everything early,
Yeah.
I would immediately like double my income and success.
Right.
Like that's like the hardest. But it's like we have no boss.
We have no boss, and like we're creatives, and I think it's important for us to like have that space
Yeah.
to like, oh, I'm doing something cool here. I gotta chase it and like do the thing, or
Like
it's like
chasing something for 6 hours with and not budgeting the time before, but being like, I really have something here. That is what throws off my entire schedule.
Yeah.
But then it's like those songs are
those are
good.
right.
So.
That's what you need, and then
Yeah.
it's also for those who aren't in LA or Nashville doing the session thing. It's like so often it's like last minute sessions pop up, and like you just luckily we're in an industry that people really are very understanding of that, where it's like, yeah, of course you don't turn down that session. Like I can wait another day for like whatever. And it's I think it's when money is already really hard to find in this industry, I think everyone gets that, like, yep, nope, do that. Like, you have to, like, and we all get it. So we normally start off the podcast with our guests telling us their story about how they got started.
Yeah.
I don't know too much of your story, to be honest. So when did your professional music journey started, whether you were 5 years old or 20? Like, where did it start?
I first played music in my life in second grade, I think. So I got into music because my parents like forced me to take piano lessons, and then I really wanted to quit after a year, and they had just upgraded me to like a full-size Casio keyboard, which probably was $100, but like they were like, you can't quit now because we just upgraded, because like the songs I was learning needed more than like 3 octaves or something.
Right, yeah.
So they forced me to do like another year, and then they were like, if you want to quit after that, you can. And I got into Billy Joel and like was finally good enough to play Billy Joel songs, which was like
At how old?
This was like 4th, 5th grade. I was like obsessed with Billy. He was like my first like 3 concerts. It was like the first 20 songs that I learned. And then I felt like I needed a certain amount of skill to be able to play the songs I liked.
Yes.
But then it was like there was no going back. Right. But I had different versions of, well, I didn't know that songwriting was a career. I remember that feeling, the first feeling when I was like, wait, like Taylor Swift didn't write that song, and it's like a betrayal at first. I don't know if everyone goes through that, but
I did. Like, and then you like kind of sit with it for a second. You're like, oh wait.
Yeah, but then it's like, oh, that's kind of cool,
right?
And she's a bad example because she does write, but co-writes. I thought it was everybody was writing by themselves.
I think the biggest one for me was my grandfather was such a huge Frank Sinatra and Elvis fan, and they didn't write any of their songs.
True.
And when I learned that and I understood that it was really like a separate thing, that's when it was like, okay, like these are different things. Sometimes they, I'm also maybe the world's biggest Beatles fan, but like, you know what I mean? It's like sometimes they're not, and that's okay. And learning that difference is like, that's the Elvis and Frank Sinatra one. Like for people who don't get it, when I say that, it's like kind of like hits them in a way where like, oh, like, right, totally. But
Billy Joel though, Billy writes all his songs, 100%. But I got into playing like cover gigs. This is like a very classic trajectory, I feel like. But I was playing in high school, like going into hotels in DC and like playing for 3 hours or playing at bars. And I also taught piano lessons in high school.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Virginia.
Okay.
So like an hour outside. I'm from Sterling, which is like a place. It's like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's like a place. But it's like an hour from DC. And then I went to Belmont for a year in Nashville. And that's when I started like really understanding the songwriting part of the industry. And that was like a slow transition. It took me like several years to completely stop touring, completely stop teaching lessons.
Right.
And then I got into production kind of late, I think. I was like 24, 25 when I like downloaded Logic. And then I like made my first demos, and it took a few years to like make anything that sounded not horrible.
What were you I guess concentrating in at Belmont?
I was a songwriting major. I only went for a year.
Okay.
So I actually didn't take any songwriting classes because I took like philosophy.
Was it just like gen ed?
Yeah, they were like like gen eds. But I tried to like take the most interesting classes I could, and I remember my advisor was like, "You're not going to be able to graduate because you're taking like all these music classes, but you need the gen eds." And I was like, "I don't know if I'm going to graduate, so like I don't care. I'm not going to be here probably."
Right.
But yeah, it was kind of like as I played less and less shows, I did more and more production, and then I finally was able to produce full time in like 2019, 2020.
And you were in Nashville at the beginning of your career, and when did you move out to LA?
I moved out pretty recently, all things considered. I almost moved like 4 times. I was doing these crazy trips too. I would come out here for like 2 months and then like do that multiple times a year. So I felt like I was here. But
just for like someone who might be doing that, like what was kind of like when you were coming out here, were you staying with friends? Like what was that kind of like?
The long trips, I was like subletting. A friend would post like, I'm going to Europe for a month. Can somebody take my spot? Right. Now it's funny. I see those all the time living here. I'm like trying to connect people in Nashville. And then I would usually crash. I would actually crash on Katelyn Tarver's couch.
There you go.
Extremely often.
Good old KT.
It's so funny. But I would try to balance it. I would do like 3 nights at everyone's place. I didn't want to overstay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you want to be respectful. I was the same way when I was like in my band. Like I had a couple friends that lived out here, and I would like stay with this friend for a week, stay with another friend for a week, just try and be like considerate, you know, as I could.
Yeah.
Buy them dinner.
Yeah. No, yeah. Everyone was like so awesome.
Yeah.
And I try to always let people crash my couch now. I'm like, I feel like I have this huge karmic debt to like do a million, or everyone. I just helped a friend build out their studio last night, and I was like, so many people have just helped me with my studio.
I think that's the important thing with being in LA and like having quote unquote made it, whatever anyone's definition of that is that like it's, you have to give back in ways that, you know, that it was given to you, and like that's kind of the system that we've made here in LA and Nashville. I feel like maybe a little bit more in LA than Nashville, but just the fact that it's like, okay, like someone did this for me, someone taught me, and so I'm very like not even doing this podcast. Like I mean, you know me, I'm like I love to talk about this shit and just like talk, and like if someone wants to ask me a question, I'll sit there and be, come sit next to me, like watch me do this, and like you can see how I'm doing this, and then even if it's like I've had people stay like literally sleep on the floor in the studio where they're like, I don't want to go in there with your family, but I'm like, cool, stay in here, like, no problem. I think it's important to give back and understand, even selfishly, that like maybe that person that you're helping out one day is going to be like huge, and then they can maybe scratch your back in the future. And like that's not why you should do something, but I think it's also a reason to always be like kind and like also not screw anyone over.
Yeah, and there's a lot of just like thankless work in music, even on like, I think about like on the management side, which can be, we do that sometimes too, just like people who connect people, and then that relationship works. There's nobody gives anything to the person who connected them, which is a lot of times a manager, a lot of times it's a friend, but it's like, you just kind of do it. I feel like you just like want to, if everyone succeeds, it might come back around to you, it might not, it might come back in a weird way, but like, it's just like, the first like 30 productions I did, I was bouncing ideas off of like every producer I knew, and everybody was just helping me, and I'm like, they didn't have to do that. Like,
I mean, everyone likes to give their opinion, you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, and I think it's also, it's really helpful, like, because you kind of live in a house like this now, and you have for a while, like, just living in a bro producer house.
Yeah, this is my first time, well, this is my second house, but the first time in my life, because I lived alone for 4 years, and then I did the producer house last year, and I was like, this is awesome.
Well, talk on that a little bit, because I tell a lot of people, like, when they're coming out to LA or Nashville, I'm like, do that, because I think it's invaluable. Yeah, it's like having roommates sucks sometimes, but like, what's been your experience of like having other creative people just, you know, it's 10 feet away?
I was lucky enough to live with my last house with a bunch of producers that had been here longer than me, that we do the same type of music. And it's funny, like sometimes an artist would visit town and they would write with all of us. They would be at our house every day for the week, and it would be like different sessions around the house, which is awesome. But I would just so often, I don't even know if they knew I was doing this. I would just walk in and be like, what is that drum sound? And we would give each other samples, and we would like play on each other's songs, because everybody had like their own thing. Like sometimes I'd be like walking through the living room and it's like, can you throw guitar down really fast? I'd be like, of course. But I just learned a lot. That's kind of, and that's not like these are just like my friends that we go skiing together and hang out. So it's like, it's not like I'm like, the relationship is like business, but it is like, I just grew faster just being surrounded by it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like, even being in a music city like LA and Nashville, it's like you start just being in the city and then being in a house with it. It's just, you know, it's just, you're getting so many more reps in, you're hearing things, you're seeing different perspectives, you know, problem solving with other people is also such like a huge production skill. Yeah. Where it's like, fuck, I'm having trouble. I don't know why this like bass isn't working. They're like, oh, well, I had something like that and I tried this. And then you try, you're like, oh, fuck, that's the fix. You know?
And gear too. Yes. That was like a huge, I was just like, because you're always like looking up like reviews of things, but you're like, who are these people on like Reddit that are talking about this? Like, do they know what they're talking about? Yeah. But then having everybody, we all actually had like the same rig. We had like the same mic. I bought the same, like, I bought a Shelford recently. Yep. And then we all had the same speakers, and it just, we kind of like morphed into like one, but it was like, oh, that's like the best deal. It sounds amazing. Yeah. So.
And it just works. And like, I have like our listeners know I'm like on a text chain with like a couple other, most of the guys have been on the podcast at this point, but it's like Joe Pepe's in the group. Nice. Pepe. But there's like 10 or 15 of us like in a chat, and we'll always be like, hey, like, does anyone use this piece of gear? Like, what do you think? It's like exactly like that. It's like a better Reddit. Yeah. You know, and it's a fun thing. Like, my buddy, DJ Kirikidis, who's been on the podcast, he like texted everyone about like, you seen these, it's called Plunk. It's like a rubber, you know, you kind of
Yes.
stick it on. And I have like the tennis thing version of that where I'm like, yeah, he was like, is this worth it? I was like, actually, I think it is. Like, it does the thing for $20. Like, grab it. And he was like, sick, I'm going to grab it.
Yeah.
You know, little confirmations like that are like super, you know, and that sense of community. It can be, being a producer can be a really lonely job.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
You also, I feel like I know every producer in my space, but it's like, when are we going to work together?
Right.
Like, we'll collaborate sometimes,
yeah.
but it's like, a lot of times it's like we are just working with the same artist, but in our rooms.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah,
it's nice to just have people to bounce things off.
No, it's so helpful.
Everyone benefits.
Right. Even like the, you know, we had like something with this, with like a mix that I was like working on, like, and I didn't send it to you, but you just happened to be with Katelyn. Of just like, right.
That was so funny.
Just like, but when I first like got the mix back, I sent it to a couple of my other producer friends. And I'm being like, am I crazy? Is this like not right? And I was like, no, this isn't right. Like, you know, and so
that
anyway.
worked out so well because Katelyn and I have a sense of like artist producer trust because I've probably done 6 songs with her now over the years. So it's like, we were in the green room for the show and she was like, can you just listen to this? Like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just like told my opinion, which happened to just be exactly your opinion. And I was like, perfect. Like,
yeah, to me, it was like, even now, like having, you know, the song's been mixed for a little while, like it's very obvious and I'm glad we made that choice.
Yeah.
But for like people who don't understand, like we had 2 mixes done and we were like trying to figure out which one was better or the right one. And like, to me, it was very obvious and like, it was a whole fucking thing, but I'm not going to go too deep into that. But long story short, Andrew helped bring it over the line because he had a good opinion on it, in my opinion. I feel like when you first came out to LA, were you more like acting as a songwriter top line, or were you always kind of more producing?
The last so I moved here 3 years ago, and like 6 years ago in Nashville, I was pretty much only writing.
Okay.
And I would play guitar on things or piano, but then I would like not be the final producer. And it was like a slow transition the entire time.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask. So what was that transition like for you to like? Because that was my experience too. I started out more top lining and songwriting.
I think big part of it was like I didn't have the skill to finish a song, and like the gear and like just I don't know. It was my first like 100% productions were in like 2019, 2020. Like looking back, they're not. Right. I don't want to like talk shit on them. Like I'm proud of them, and at the same time, I'm like I would do that so differently.
You would make different choices with your knowledge. That's what it is. Yeah.
But I feel like as a guitarist, because I was touring, I was teaching lessons, I'd been playing piano and guitar for so long, like that, I felt like a pro early, and I was like, a lot of producers, some producers are killer guitarists and piano players, but some producers are like drummers, and like they don't really know how to do that. So I was like meshing really well into those rooms,
right.
And it just took me time to be able to do. I feel like I had vocal production, guitar, piano, chord knowledge down, but then like other stuff like mixing, drums, bass.
It's like I feel like I was similar, right? Where you had that like the songwriting production down, right? Where it's like I can get a great demo down and like I can sell a song. And then it's just that like, but I wanted to compete on this, you know, with like the greatest producers out there right now, and learning how to do that final. I'll call it like the final like 30%.
Yeah.
It's like that's the part that takes so many reps and so much experience.
I'm still learning.
Yeah, I mean we all are, right? That's why I do this podcast, because I'm still learning and talking to people and trying to figure out like.
And like my best productions still have. There are areas of production that I feel like I learned later, like specifically drums.
Right.
Where some of my favorite productions are just like there's like a kick, like there's no drums, like that's, or we hired a drummer,
right,
which is fine.
I think that's the real. If I could hire a drummer, or if I could hire players for every production, I 1,000% would.
I like unlocked that like last year.
Yeah,
I just didn't realize how much of a hack that was. I was like, oh, you can just like there's people who are better than me at all of this stuff,
right?
You just pay them.
That's how all the greatest records of all time were made. They were all like, I always tell people like producers like usually didn't even play fucking instruments. They were like arranging.
Yeah.
That to me is what a good producer is. It's like they don't have to be like coming up with the most amazing parts, but if they can figure out how to arrange everything and make everything mellow together, like that's the real skill. And if I can like you've been on the other end of this with me, where it's like you'll come over as like when we're co-producing, but like I'm usually driving because we're at my studio, right? And like I'm kind of guiding you, but you're coming with a part, and it's just like ends up to, you know, it's doing something that you wouldn't do by yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, especially when you work with someone who is such a master, like these drummers who like, they only do session drumming.
Dude, it's like night and day every time.
Yeah.
I have like 4 people I feel like that I've used. I'm still like new to hiring people, but like every time.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
immediately sounds like a record.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's cool too, because I think what a lot of these great session players are learning is that, and this is advice for people who are maybe thinking about going this direction, right? Is that for a while that these session players, they were only session players and they would go to studios. And now a lot of these session players are investing in themselves and they're building out their own studios.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, my drums or my strings or my bass sounds sick because I have a rig and I send you amazing stems and it's like good to go.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the new way to do it. And it's amazing.
You ever work with Aaron Sterling on anything?
I haven't had the pleasure yet, but I know. Yeah.
I got to work with him on one song, and he sent piano stems.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then I talked to my friend, and my friend was like, oh, one time he sent me vocals. So he'll do the drums, and then he'll just start producing.
Yeah.
And that just is included. And I'm like, what is going on? But it was amazing. We used it.
But I think that's good. Like, 'cause like even when I vocal produce, I will do that sometimes.
Yeah.
I won't include like piano and stuff, but I will include like, I'm like, hey, I had like a counter melody or harmony idea.
Yeah.
And it's like, here you go.
That to me is like, it's like you're going above and beyond.
Yeah.
You're not getting paid for that, but it's like, I'm going to hire you every chance I can now. It's like, that was awesome.
And like, I'm doing it like, yes, I'm doing it because I want people to think I do a good job, but I'm doing it because I'm like, I had an idea and I wanted to put it down.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I was genuinely inspired.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? That's a lot of the time, like, why I'm doing it. I feel like that's how probably he was, where it's like, oh, I had an idea. Like, I thought it'd be fun to do.
Yeah, it felt like just love of the game.
Right.
He was like, this sounds cool.
Right. And it's like, what? It took another 20 minutes to do it. Like, you know, whatever. Who cares about that? Yeah, dude, it's like so fucking amazing having session players just like do it. I wish artists I wish like labels and artists just had a bigger budget to do things like that. It's a shame that they don't. And then sometimes like, you know, I try not to because it's more of like a, you know, I do think that the artists and labels should be paying for it, but there's been times where like I'll pay people out of my own pocket.
Yeah,
because
I've done that.
Yeah, it's like this is just makes more sense. And
a lot of
easier.
times it's like in the deal, it'll be like strings and horns they'll pay for. I don't know if I've seen that a few times.
Oh, that's weird.
There's like certain instruments where like you're kind of expected to figure it out.
Right.
And then there's certain stuff where it's like, well, obviously, I mean, you have a violin here.
Yeah, that's a broken, but
yeah, but it's like they're like, obviously he can't do strings, so if you want to do strings, just like funny to me. But I'm like, we take those. Like,
I think it's because too, it's like strings and horns are like they're getting close, but like MIDI ones aren't quite there. Yeah, I don't know if they really ever will be because it's such like a voice. It's like
you think it's there, and then you get the strings back, and you're like, oh, sounds so good. And
dude,
emotional.
I've had so many times where it's like, you know, I'm writing most of my string parts and like I'll do it out on MIDI and like get it to sound really good. Everyone's like, but it sounds great. I'm like, just wait, and then they hear the real ones. They're like, oh, I'm like, yes.
It's like
you don't know until you know.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's also kind of comforting that like some of these like vintage. Like a vintage mic on a live instrument is beating out all of modern technology.
Oh yeah.
Still, you have like Olivia Dean, top of the charts. It's like nice to know. I'm like, there's like a craft that like maybe one day. I mean, technology is like taken away a lot of things, but it's like still like live drums and live strings like every time. Like I don't know.
It's what makes me. I don't want to talk about AI too much, but it's what makes me not too worried about AI, because that Olivia Dean record especially, where it's like they are not reinventing the wheel on anything. All those productions are moves that we've all heard a million times before.
It's just like timeless good.
But it's just like I compare it to film, where it's like great cinematography is going to win every time. Like they're not doing any crazy new
we're using films.
Right, exactly. And
like,
it's
that's
like
crazy. Film is so old.
Yeah, but like because it does a thing and it makes it feel a certain way, and it's like that record is a testament to be like they hired great players and they just recorded and engineered it well. And I think that's like how producers moving forward are going to win, where it's like I think yes, AI is going to creep in. It's going to like, you know, certain sounds maybe will be AI generated. It's just going to be easy to do. Everyone can do. How can you separate yourself? It's like you have to kind of become like, it's going backwards and becoming a good engineer and either becoming a good player or finding good players to play on your shit. And like, that's how you're going to stand out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, I don't think you need to like, it's just good. Again, I can talk about this all day. It's good songwriting and good engineering. It's hard, but it's really not that hard. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just like, anyway, I'm like in love with that Olivia Dean record.
Dude.
So much.
There's a few songs on there that I just like, I need to look them up, but like, I was on tour where I would go on like a walk in Amsterdam and just listen to one song on repeat for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it's like, that for me is like, it's rare, but I mean, it's like once a month I'll find that song. And for me, I'm like, she's there.
Oh, that album is like, it's inspired me in a way. Like, even so, again, to bring up Katelyn, but the record that you like kind of had the mix on, like, I went in there where I was like, okay, this record is pretty much Katelyn's vocal, a piano, and a bass.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I have to make sure everything sounds as good as possible. And like, I re-recorded and remiked that piano like I think 4 times.
Yeah.
Until I picked the one I liked. I did 2 different like bass takes where it's like I did one on my Hofner and the other one on my jazz bass, and I ended up with the Hofner. So it's like I was like, cool, everything I'm gonna do is gonna be very, very intentional, and I'm gonna like sit here and get the sound right, because otherwise it's like, what's the point, you know, of like doing this the right way? And I don't know, that's the advice I can give that. When you're either looking at artists to work with, being reached out to, who's ever setting up sessions, what makes you say yes to an artist to work with them?
There's like the dream artist for me, we get along, that's like not required, but we like are maybe friends, or we have the same sense of humor. Their genre is like a genre I can knock out of the park, which for me is a lot of times like an organic acoustic pop, something in that realm.
Yeah.
And then they have some sort of numbers that can back, like, okay, we're going to make money on this. And that's kind of, if it has all 3 of those things, I'm already like, that's kind of rare.
Right.
I feel like usually it's like something is missing, but it's like either they have like a big budget and like it's my genre, but like we don't really click, or it's like it's a good friend and I really believe in them, but there's no money. That's like pretty common, and I'll do those still. But like that when everything aligns, or you find someone, for me it's like once a year I'll find someone who's like, I'll just like be in their DMs like a crazy person. I just found, can I talk about someone?
Please.
I just found this artist, Jackie Evans.
Dude.
She's
so good. I mean, she's kind of having a moment on TikTok right now.
She, to me, I'm like...
You know, your Billy Joe influence makes sense with that.
I know. I keep texting her like the most ridiculous. I'm like, you are one of the great American artists. She's like, what are you... And she's like so like new. She has like 4 songs.
Yeah.
We like got dinner. She's like, yeah, I'm having trouble with like DistroKid. I'm like, you're the best artist in the world. Like, just like... But like somebody like her, I would like I think we're gonna meet in Nashville or New York and do some sessions. But like that to me is so rare. It's like, okay, we get along musically, we fit. I believe in you, and she probably will have. She hasn't signed to a label, but the numbers.
I'm not worried about her.
I think she's gonna be amazing.
It's like with like how good everything is, and that like there's already movement.
Yeah.
It's like. Yeah, no, I asked, I don't know what ended up happening. I asked my team like a month ago to reach out, because I like...
She was here, because I got the tea. She was here for like 2 days. She wrote with like Wolfpack and Carol Addis.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then she left.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're a legend. But yeah, somebody like her, I feel like once a year I'll find someone where I'm just like, I really believe in this person. Mm-hmm. It's how I felt about Sabrina Sterling.
Yeah.
There's an artist who's a friend of mine named Devin Gabriella, who I just have this feeling with her still. It's like some sort of aura she has with her fans. I don't know what it is. And I played guitar for her live once, and I'm like, there's something here. Mm-hmm. But that's like so rare. And those people like I jump at to work with, but to fill the calendar, sometimes it's like a good friend of mine and I just love them and there's no budget and we're just doing back end splits and like, but you need to also take some gigs for the money.
Right.
So there's like a balance.
You have to balance it, right? Like I was actually thinking about this the other day. Actors talking about like why so many high profile actors are doing like commercials. Mm. And they're like, yeah, so I can do the cool, amazing indie films.
Yeah.
And they're like, and because like, you know, they're saying it's like, it's not only about me. They're like, I'm good, but they're like, I have a team.
Yeah. No, if I take like a few money gigs, then it's like, now I have the freedom to like, I'll work for free for someone I believe in.
Yep.
And that's like what it's all about.
And we were just, before we were recording, I was just talking about how like, you know, at the end of the year I had a couple like pretty good sound better gigs that I was like doing. And it's like, yeah, like, you know what, like that money helps me like be more creative and like takes a little bit of pressure off me and anxiety off me, because LA is expensive and kids are expensive. and you know, and it exactly, it enables me to do projects that like maybe they don't have money to pay me up front, but again, back end. And back end can be very lucrative if like it's something that you believe in and it does well.
It can be the most lucrative.
Yeah, absolutely it can be. I have songs that like I did years ago that like I still see like quarterly some like pretty good money coming from like I had like 25 or like 50% of the master, which was awesome. And I think that's great. And it's like I'm if it's a song I really believe in, an artist I really believe in, and teams like approach me, they're like they have no budget, or it's like sometimes I'll even be like, is it worth getting paid $500, which is so low? and like having less, or do I just say, you know what, keep your $500, give me more of the master, like put that into promoting the song?
There's
strategy there.
One of my things going into this year was like, I want to find a few more people, no fee, 50-50 split.
Yeah.
Let's just like build something together, which not everybody, I mean, you reach a certain point as an artist, you don't want to give away 50% master. That totally makes sense. But like, there's something special about like, I'm not taking your money, like we're making money together.
Right.
And if the song does better, we both do better. Because sometimes I'm like, these artists are going into debt. Like, I'm like taking money from these artists and then they go on tour and they lose money on tour. And I'm like, I'd rather us just like be on the same side of the industry and then the fans pay up both of us. There's something about that just feels better.
It feels better. And it's like, again, like the beauty of being a music producer and songwriter is that like we're kind of creating a bunch of like little investments everywhere, like thinking purely business wise for a second. And it's like, yeah, obviously not every investment in any industry is going to take off, but like you start placing them around enough and like something takes off and you're like, okay, like really glad I did that.
Yeah.
And again, like whenever I'm negotiating with artists or artist managers, my line, which I truly do mean, is that like I'm never trying to break anyone's budget.
Yeah.
I will always make something work unless like you're coming back at me and giving me like just absolutely terms that like don't make any sense in my opinion. Like I'm pretty fucking easy to work with.
Yeah.
And again, like I'm very simple, and I think there's so much value in like taking on those gigs that it's like, yeah, 25-50% of the master, depending on like who else is there, like what else is there. And this is for producers and artists too, where you can always split the master upfront 50-50 and then have clauses, right?
Yeah.
Where if a major label does pick it up eventually, which is the goal, right? You can do like buyout clauses to make it a more traditional, like,
I try to put that in most.
I think you need
deals.
it because I think if you don't, it's happened before where it can get really dicey.
It can be bad you hear from the artist perspective, they're like, this producer wants $30,000. It's stopping the entire record deal.
Right.
And then vice versa. Like this happened to me once, like a song does get acquired by the label, but we didn't negotiate a fee. And all of a sudden I lose all my royalties.
Right.
And then I'm like, wait, you just sold my percentage of the song. Right. You got paid. So like having like something in there.
Right, exactly.
Very important.
It's really important to like have those, like, again, you don't have to have like a full on contract if no one can afford a lawyer yet. But like even in an email just being like, hey, if this happens, like A, B, and C happens, and like we'll just move forward from there. It is really important. Just like speaking from my own experience, like I whenever I'm doing 50-50 deals, it's like, okay, like let's say this song blows up, like what's gonna happen here?
Yeah.
And then we can all feel better about it. And no one is like, I've seen people like ruin relationships because like they didn't work it out beforehand, and then a song blows up.
Yeah.
And then everyone thinks like everyone's trying to take advantage of over someone, and it's like, who knows what's really going on,
Yeah.
Live and learn. It sucks.
No, it's tough. It's tough to like, in a perfect world, it's like everybody feels like they got a good deal, and that's like, but sometimes I don't know.
I mean, like a good negotiation is when everyone feels like they got a little screwed over. But that's the truth. Like every negotiation is like, or you have to feel like you got something good and something bad, and that's what a truly fair deal is. And once that was explained to me when I was like dealing with making my first couple deals, it everything made a lot of sense. And because I was an artist for a while and I was on the other side of like dealing with producers, I feel like I have like a pretty unique perspective on all that. I had a couple like kind of things where I was an unsigned artist and I would work with a producer who reached out to me to work with me. And me as in my band, and they knew we weren't signed. They knew like we didn't have much money, like and all the money we were spending was like going right back into the project. And like we wrote a song we loved, and they were like, yeah, it's gonna be 5 figures, and if you can't pay this, like, sorry.
Yeah. And I hear this sometimes, and I'm like, it's pretty unrealistic, to think. There are, every now and then you work with like somebody who's made it, maybe they're an actor or an influencer, have some other career, or just have money, and they can pay your like major label fee. But I'm like, in what world are these indie artists going to be able to pay $10,000 or more? But
also, I don't mind people asking. I understand that everything is negotiation. Like sometimes people get like really offended with like they ask for this. It's like, okay, they're allowed to ask, and you're allowed to say like, no, we can do this. But it's when they just like don't back off on it, and it's like, okay, like even with that, I was like bending over backwards where I was like, you can have 100% of the record until your fee, and then it goes to 50-50.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, nope. And I was like, well, now I know you're being unreasonable.
It's tough. Yeah. Like I've learned too, like I used to have a strategy that's like, if the artist wasn't negotiating at all, then I wouldn't negotiate at all. But I'm looking back, this is something I've been thinking about the last year. I'm like, that strategy for me made those relationships a little weird. Even though it felt fair, it's like, you're going to play hardball, then I'll play hardball.
Right.
And then you just end up, and I'm like, there has to be a better way. And I'm learning like the give and take of it all, and like
it's
how important
hard.
the relationship is. And
yeah, it's really hard to like be like, I know my value, I know what you can do, I know what you can't do, and it's like we need to figure out what feels like fair for everyone. And it's like it's really hard. You know, a lot of artists that like are up and coming, they don't have teams yet, and you have to deal directly with them, and that's really awkward. And it's, you know, it's really tricky. There's no good advice I can give except that like you want to try and figure these things out sooner than later. My kind of like general rule of thumb, this is just good advice maybe for you, for any of our listeners, is I try and take a song, like I'll do a session and I'll take a song to a certain point. I'm like, I believe this is at a point where you know whether or not you want to release it. And I kind of won't do more until we're like, okay, what's the deal? And if they're like, well, we're not sure, then I'm like, okay, then you're not sure you want to release the song. And like, I'm not going to work on this until we like at least have some soft terms. I'm not even saying you have to pay me.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like, if this comes out, this is what it's got to be. And that to me is kind of like the appropriate time to do it. Sometimes teams and artists, like without even realizing they're like doing it, they'll like dangle the release. Yeah. Be like, oh, just take it a little bit further, then we can talk terms. It's like, no. That's not going to work for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I found that that's worked out very well for me over the past couple of years versus when I didn't do it. And then even from like, again, a more business leverage standpoint, I have so much more leverage when the song is not done versus when it's done and they're like, well, it's done.
Yeah.
Like, you already did the fucking work. Like, what are you going to do? Because then a lot of times people will be like, oh, fuck it, I already did all the work. I guess I will take like, you know, a third of what I normally get just to release it. So, I don't know. It's
such a weird industry. I've done negotiations after the song's been out.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
we all
what
have.
is going on? Like,
yeah. Like,
it's such a funny industry. But
yeah. I mean, again, like, that's where I'm like, you know, it sucks because you want to be seen as easy to work with. But at the same time, it's like, I always try and like ask myself and be very reflective, which is hard for anyone. Like, am I being reasonable here? And I really try and like poke it at it from like the different angles. And I know sometimes when I'm being unreasonable because like I'm dealing with someone who's also being unreasonable. But I feel like for the most part, like if you're being reasonable and having a boundary, I think that's always acceptable. And if people want to shit talk you for having that kind of a boundary, like I honestly think like those people aren't going to have a long career anyway. Yeah.
Also, like a lot of times, like the fees that we're probably thinking of in our head right now, I'm like, you guys are going to make the money back. A lot of times it's like a label and I'm like, I see the streams, like, you're going to make this money back. I'm 100% confident because it's not, we're not talking like 50 grand.
No.
It's like, we're talking like a few million streams and you'll have the money. So, but it can get,
it can get dicey. And like, and again, it's like a lot of, you know, for listeners who don't know, it's like a lot of time you know, with A&Rs and like, they don't really have, you know, they're not like really in control of the money. They're like, well, you have this budget and like make the budget work. And like, that's what they're kind of working with. And, you know, and an artist too, like, even though they're a little bit more flexible, like they still have a budget that they had in mind. And they have to like work within and, you know, anyway, it's a really tough thing. So I want to talk about studio, your workflow a little bit.
Yeah.
I know some of these answers already, but I'm going to pretend like I don't. What DAW are you currently working in?
I work in Logic.
How's that going?
It's honestly, I'm so deep in Logic. I know how to do everything in Logic.
Yeah.
Have I debated switching to Ableton like every other year? Like, yeah, and just for the sake of co-production.
Right, yeah.
And then I've done a few vocal productions in Pro Tools, and I'm like, wow, Pro Tools is pretty good for vocals.
It's the best. There's no convincing me otherwise.
I know Pro Tools is like
maybe Cubase.
I've never used Cubase. Yeah, it's tough because I mean, all that stands in between me and Pro Tools is like their yearly subscription and then like a week. If I just took a week, I would just learn it. But I know all the key commands and everything in Logic, and it's like, and I know you can copy those to Pro Tools, but I'm like, I would want to know Pro Tools,
like how
so I can jump on someone else's session and do something real fast.
Right, exactly.
But I'm just like so deep, I just like haven't done it.
Yeah, I don't see the need for people to like switch unless like again you have this like deep need.
Yeah.
You know, to want to. I think like making not even the switch, but like being able to use Ableton sometimes is good because to me Ableton is also like its own instrument.
Yeah.
And like
it's intuitive.
Oh
like,
yeah, it just does things differently. A lot of the times I'm starting in Ableton or I have Ableton open while Pro Tools is open. Just because like how the sampler works, how like it like will resample it's like other DAWs don't quite do it.
Yeah.
And so if I'm viewing it as like, this is just like kind of like having like another synth workstation off to the side.
It is funny the hacks that, because every now and then someone would be like, well, in Logic you can't do this, and I'm like, I found a way.
Right.
There are ways to
you could do anything.
You
in
actually
anything.
can do anything in any DAW. I'm doing it in the craziest way ever, but I'm actually doing like the Pro Tools like comping is amazing. It's better than Logic.
I hate Logic's comp.
But like I've found my way. I like splice within the comp and I'm dragging within the. I'm like doing crazy shit, but like it does the exact same thing. It's just a little weirder.
Couple extra steps. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
so in a perfect world, I would be like the master of all the elements. But I'm always just like, do I want to learn Pro Tools right now, or do I want to like finish this song?
Yeah.
Which is like not. I'm thinking a little short term. But
no, Logic, I like to shit on it because it's like easy to shit on and it's fun for me. But like Logic is great. I'm like comfortable in Logic, but you couldn't pay me to use it. It's just like how it does certain things. I'm just like, no, I'm good. Like I'll stick with my Ableton and Pro Tools for now.
No, there's a few weird things. It does with audio. I'm just like, what are you doing? Like,
I can almost
like shrinking things.
I can almost always tell when like something was recorded in Logic.
Yeah,
especially vocal. I'm just like, nope, I hear it. Like it is what it is.
Yeah,
sorry.
Looking for another way to support what we do here at Producer Points? Head over to our Sound Better storefront or our Patreon, where you can find a bunch of great things to get from us. What are those things, you may ask? You can find production and vocal production templates made by yours truly. You'll also be able to find a bunch of other things that I'll be adding there in the coming months, including mentorship, songwriting advice, or anything else you guys would like on there. Let me know. Producer Pal subscribers will be able to get additional discounts on the Patreon only, not the Sound Better. All right, gang, back to the show.
I really haven't been in any of your studios, but just from pictures, like what's the current studio setup like philosophy that you have for your workflow?
Setup for like the room?
No, like how like the philosophy, like how like your room is set up. Like is it? More
we have like the same shape of room right now.
Okay, yeah.
Which in the past I was in a my 2-car garage. Which
right, I remember that. That one was big, right?
That was. I'm gonna get back to that. Yeah. Well, there were pros and cons, honestly. But like, yeah, now I'm in a space like this. The only tough part about my space is I am trying to walk through this path right here a lot because I have my piano on the other side.
Okay.
And like that's maybe I need to move some things around. But it is interesting trying to use. I'm using every inch of the space because I downgraded space size.
That's what happened.
I'm like nudging everything. Every little inch matters. It's been fine. And I upgraded a lot of gear when I moved. So like bought a piano. I bought an amp. Now I have like more stuff and less space.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just like at the end of every session, I have like 8 guitars like on the ground. Yeah. So for me, I need the guitars like right here, and I'm just gonna throw them everywhere.
Yeah. And that's why I got this like, what is it, like the 16 guitar or 14 guitar
that's amazing.
Because I'm just like I can grab them really quickly and like experiment.
I should be putting them back on the. I like have something happens, and I was doing this last night. I was helping a friend build her studio, and I just like put things like on the ground. It's like I entered the same state, and I'm just like, where's the drill? And it's like over there. I'm like, why? I don't even remember putting it there. That's how I get when I'm like in a flow state with. It's like my mandolin's just like under the table for some reason. I'm like, what is going on?
Listen, when I'm in sessions here, like guitars just end up on the couches because everyone's playing something, and it is what it is. When I'm by myself, I'm pretty good about like. Because I can't really put it anywhere else when I'm sitting right where I'm at over there, so it kind of forces me to like use the stands. What's like with your piano and your guitars and amps, is everything like mic'd up and ready to go, or you okay?
Everything's like I'm trying to just the least number of steps. Everything is like the presets are there, and a lot of times like I know kind of what I'm going to use going into a session, so I'll pull up stuff that we've done in the past. I'll pull up the vocal chain. I'll pull up this is the guitar settings, the piano settings, and we might not use them. But
do you have like a template in Logic ready to go? You kind of like keep it open.
What I do is I go through right before the session, like similar songs, and I pull individual tracks. And I don't have a template because I don't know why something about the template just feels weird to me. It's basically a template. I'm doing the same thing, but I'll be like, I'm working with like Rosie today. I'm going to pull up the guitar and piano we did here, but I really like this organ sound I did on someone else's song, and I'll just like pull them all in. And we might not even use them.
Right.
But it's like...
But they're there.
If we want... It's not going to take... It would take 30 seconds to set it up, but like, you don't want to... I just don't want to do that.
No, and it's so funny because like, myself included, but I think people sometimes think like, oh, come on, isn't that like cheating? Or like, it's like, no, it's like...
Oh, not at all. And like, it's not going to stay the same.
No, efficiency is the name of the game.
Yeah. That's like... So if you spend like 10 hours on something, you're not going to... You lose the magic of it.
Dude, there was this song I did, speaking of Rosie,
Yeah.
where we got strings done and I mixed them and I was like, fuck, I did such a good job on how I mixed these strings. And I grabbed that string template all the time as like a starting point, because I'm like, this was amazing. Why would I ever want to like do anything other than
like
this?
as a jumping off point.
Yeah. And
a lot of times I will go in and
you tweak
everything.
right.
And
you make it for the song at that point. But
and then when the artist leaves, then I'll like get creative. I'll try a million things, and that's when you make the patch for the next song.
Exactly.
When you're by yourself, like trying stuff.
Yeah, importing like templates or like importing settings is like, and saving presets, like all that is just like, I think it's the more bigger producers and mixers I've worked with, the more they all do that. And then I was like, it gave me permission to start doing that.
You know what's crazy too is like, I mean, we all know this, like the day of guitar, the day of vocal sometimes has this magic, and sometimes I know it in my brain, like we might end up using this, but sometimes I'll be like, oh, we only need like 2 takes real fast, and then we go and recut it later, and I'm like, those 2 takes are the best. I have to like get at least one more take.
Yeah.
I am dealing with it right now. I tracked guitar live in the room once, left, right, did only 2. There's no extra comps for anything. And then I went to go replay it, and I couldn't beat it.
Nope.
And I was just like, we're using this.
Yep.
It sounds better. I don't know why it sounds better.
It's just those things, whether it's demoitis or whether it's actually better. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter
but
why.
You are good because you once made me do a 3rd take.
Yeah.
And then there was enough to comp.
Yes. I'm pretty, because I've been doing it enough where I'm like, we're here. Let's like, because I've been doing this long enough where it's
You're
I know
we're probably going to use this.
I know this game. We're going to like, there's going to be something about this, especially when I'm like working with someone where it's like, I don't have you at my disposal every day. And it's like, all right, I don't know when I'm going to see you again. Let's just like get a couple takes. And then, so I know I can comp.
Yeah.
Even if you flubbed on one thing, I can like grab it and do it. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't want to call it laziness. I know like a lot of the times we're just like trying to move because we're all inspired, but it's like, just get that 1 or 2 more takes.
It's funny because like in my experience, it's like half the time I can beat it and half the time I can't, but I don't know what I'm going to be able to beat.
Right.
So like sometimes I'll go through everything and edit it and clean it up and try to beat it. But like I end up with this Frankenstein, like half of this is like what we made in 30 minutes. And then the other half is like, I spent like 10 hours like going through every idea.
Doing the thing. And I mean, listen, that's just part of the process. Like I so sometimes like hate doing a scratch guitar, but sometimes it's just necessary where it's like, fuck, okay, like you have a dinner.
Yeah.
I got to get this down so you can at least record the vocal to sting that gives it the feeling. And that guitar ends up being in there, or it ends up being at least a layer in there. Or it's like, even the one that we did with Rosie, Joanna.
Yeah.
Did
you use like that from the day?
I ended up replaying it.
Yeah.
But it was basically the same exact sound. But every bit of the pocket was around that guitar. So the drums were pocketed
That's what
to
happens.
that. Yes.
Yeah. So you track something, and then a talented singer is going to match the pocket and the tone of your guitar.
Right.
And if you change the guitar, then it's like they're disjointed.
Right.
And it's like, whatever you built around is the foundation. If you're going to change the foundation, it's like really.
Yeah. And I remember that process was really daunting because I tried to change it sooner. I was like, nope, I can't.
Yeah.
Because this pocket is doing a thing. And so we had real drums
you mixed
recorded.
Everything just subtly like to this, everything's like built around it. Yeah.
But I ended up being able to redo it because it ended up not being like the main thing. It was like a big part of it, but it was enough where I was like, okay, I can replay this. And I went in and edited the one I redid to the original one to make the pocket exactly the same. It was really painstaking, but it was worth it. Because there were like some things in that original recording where I was like, it's bumping up against things. And it's not doing exactly what I wanted to do. But, I had a problem solve in like a really weird and unique way. This season, we're having a recurring question that we're asking all of our producers, and it's about your studio. What's one thing you would change or improve about your studio if you could, whether it's a physical thing or a space thing? What's something you would change?
What is next? I have like a list actually of things I want to buy. There's always a list, but I just upgraded so much. I'm still learning to use everything I just bought. So let me think about this. You know what's funny is I bought like this is an insane answer to this question. This is like an incorrect answer.
That's fine.
I bought a piano intentionally that's very dark and intimate. And I was like, how cool would it be to one day have 2 pianos? Because like sometimes you want like your piano is like clear.
Yeah.
And like you want both. And like Like that's crazy. I would do that.
Yeah.
I would do that pretty soon. I would buy more pedals. I just got into pedals.
Yeah.
I have like the most basic pedals. I was debating last night. I'm like, should I get a Kemper? There's so many things that like.
Honestly, dude, speaking of Kempers, I have a Kemper.
Yeah.
And the UAD, like the Paradise Guitar Studio.
How is it?
It's so good.
Okay. Yeah.
I've been using it lately, and I've just been like,
yeah,
fuck, I can maybe sell my Kemper. Like,
dude,
it's really good, especially like if I'm playing it early on and just like there's like no latency at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know, it sounds really good.
Yeah.
And like the pedals on there are really good. Shout out to those guys. That's like a new plugin that if you have the UADX subscription, it's just part of it now.
That's awesome.
But highly recommend that guy.
Man, yeah. I'm like, because I'm in the space where I just bought like a Royer and like an actual amp. I was just using like Guitar Rig, and I bought all these pedals, and I'm like, this sounds amazing. It's almost like a country sounding rig, and I got a volume pedal, and I can do swells. Yeah. But there's things that I'm like, should I buy like weird pedals? Should I buy like some tremolo, phasey stuff? Yeah. And then like to have a stereo sound, sometimes I'm like, that sounds better in the box for me right now because everything's just mono. But or I'll just like, you ever use what's the upmix plugin, Shopes or whatever?
I haven't used that one yet. Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
It's like a plugin. It's basically a room reverb, but it's like a little. It's like an Imager meets like Valhalla Room.
Okay.
And it just takes a mono signal and makes it sound stereo.
What's it called?
It's like spelled really weird. Let me look it up.
Okay, I'm so curious.
It's like Shopes.
Shopes.
Let me see.
Now I can look it up too.
Mono upmix, I think. Yeah, SCHOEPS.
Okay.
Mono upmix plugin. I think it was like $50 or $60.
Okay, I gotta check that out because I'm always looking for stuff like that.
And I've been using it on guitar and what else to it? Mostly guitar. Yeah. But anything that's mono that you want to be.
I would use it on my Mellotron over there. Like that's something.
I had a friend use it on the Rhodes. Yeah. And it was like awesome.
Yeah.
It just puts it in a space, and it's like a little different than it is like if I think you could maybe get the sound with a room verb and like.
Right, it's just giving it depth and space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound like a verb. It just sounds like it's in stereo. I'm like, I don't know what they're doing.
I'm gonna probably just buy this right now when
after you leave. No, I've been using it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's funny too because like the two piano thing. I actually used to have two pianos at one point.
Really?
I don't know. Did you ever come to my others? I don't know if you ever did. I
think so. I wasn't living here.
Yeah. But in the spot that I was sharing with David Arkwright.
Mm-hmm.
I had a piano, and then one of the other guys who was living in the house also had a piano. So we had two pianos in the house.
Yeah.
And what I ended up finding is that, like, yeah, obviously having fucking like multiple pianos is great, but I can get so many different sounds out of my piano right here.
Yeah.
Just with mic techniques.
Yeah.
It's just like the difference between using a small condenser or my ribbon on it.
Mm-hmm.
Huge difference.
I might invest in these arms because I'm using podcast arms for mine right now, but they're a little weird.
Oh no, these ones are fucking amazing because I can really move them over.
Yeah.
Like, there's times when I'm really playing super high up on the piano and I'll just only mic up, X, Y, that part, right? As opposed to like, it's so rare that I'm playing like the whole, 5 octaves on the piano or however many.
Yeah, I always try to just, because I'm miking from above with 2 Neumanns.
Yeah.
Like pencil mics. I don't know. Probably similar to this.
Yeah.
And then like just trying to match where I'm
playing. Like the KM84s or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is what I have. Like I don't remember.
Those that's probably what I'll get eventually.
Yeah.
They're just like they're like they're not cheap.
I think I got them used and it was like $1,100 or $1,200 for both. And that was like a deal.
Yeah, they're very good mics. I love those guys. But like my favorite way to mic this up is I'll use those small condensers, right? It doesn't matter, small condenser, and I'll have a ribbon either on top or I'll put the ribbon at the bottom of the piano.
Cool.
And you get like, it gives it this thing, and then I'll end up using my vocal mic. I'm pointing to my Flea 47 up here as a room mic.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just kind of like, it's like anything. This is just engineering, right? You start to balance things and you're like, oh, I can make that piano sound bright and plunky and clinky, or I can make it sound really dark.
Yeah.
Just by mic techniques.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun. It's like when I have the time to like really sit and mess around, like usually by myself, or I'll have like one of my interns here with me, like moving things around, be like, all right, what does this sound like? I encourage people to like, if you have the time to play with how you're miking things, like play for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it can be so rewarding. You stumble on things where you're like, oh fuck, like that was cool. Like I never thought to put this weird mic at this angle here. There's all those fun videos on Instagram now where it's like someone hitting a snare and like they keep changing the mic position.
Yeah.
And it's like such a great teaching tool. It's like, look,
Yeah.
it's all the same fucking microphone, and just like changing the angle or how close it is like different snare sound.
Yeah. That is like the world of knowledge I'm learning, because I used like basically no gear for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Like no outboard gear. And I was just like learning, because there's so much you can do in the box.
Yeah.
And I was doing crazy shit in the box, like, because I had no saturation or compression coming in.
Right.
So I was like, had like 12 plugins on my vocals.
Yeah.
And I feel like, okay, I've learned how to do that. Now let me learn how to affect it going in.
Right.
And I feel like if you have both, then you have this like infinity of like sounds you can make.
Yeah, and it's not only that. I think it's when you're doing things, when you're like miking and preamps and all that stuff, it's actually you're using your ear more, as opposed to like your like plugins can be so visual.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But when you're just like playing and you play and you move the mic back and you play again and you're like, I don't know what it is, but I just like this better. It's not, you have to have zero technical knowledge at that point. You're just kind of like, this sounds better to me.
There is sort of like you learn everything and then you forget it.
Right. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like,
how I feel about everything. Like guitar chords.
Yep.
You learn all of them and then you just try to like let it leave your mind.
it's like that
You don't
power
wanna be
chord
thinking-
sounds great.
Yeah, you don't want to be thinking about it. Then you want to just think of like, well, what sounds good?
Right. Yeah.
But it's like to have it all just like in the back of your mind.
Before we go on to our song deep dives, just speaking of vocal chains, like what's your current vocal chain that you're working with right now?
I just bought the Shelford,
Okay.
which is like, I was like not using outboard gear. I was like afraid of it.
Yeah.
And I thought that I could recreate everything in the box, which maybe technically you can get there, but it's like, it changed everything.
Yeah.
It's like, so I'm like slamming the compression. I'm like minus 10 dB going in. Like, I don't even care.
Oh.
And then like the silk on there. I don't know if you're familiar with this.
I've seen it, but I've never used it. Yeah.
It's not like, I mean, for one piece of gear, it's like, it's, I feel like it's like the best of this type of gear, which is like, you want EQ, compression, and saturation.
It's all right
in
there.
one thing.
Yeah.
It's like top of the line. The other ones cost the same amount and they're just like different color.
Right.
But like just as good. So I have that. I have a knockoff 251. I have the Peluso.
Yeah, that was great.
I wouldn't even say knockoff. It's honestly amazing.
Yep.
And then what are we doing in the box? It's everything changed when I bought the Shelford.
Right.
Because now it just sounds so good.
It's just it's a lot more minimal.
Yeah. So I just took off some compression, but I'm using some. It depends.
Right.
It depends. I'll like use Pro C a lot just because it's so clean. I have like an LA2A like UAD plugin that goes on most things, like guitars and vocals. Depending on I'll go through the different models,
right?
Different the silver, gray, whatever. It depends.
I always joke like the thing on this podcast is like, it depends, and it's like that's really what it is. It's just like it depends on what's going on.
Yeah, and then I have like different. I mean, sometimes I'll pull up like 6 different reverbs and see. I'm really into this EMT 140 UAD, which is one of the only ones they don't have UAD-X for. It's like so frustrating, or maybe they do. But
do they?
I don't have it on my computer.
Okay, maybe I don't even know because
mine's
just on. I never open it because it's just on my template.
Yeah,
so it's just there, and I don't even.
I'm obsessed with that.
Yeah.
I'll use different saturations depending on like the genre.
Right.
I'll use BB tubes a lot. I don't know. I'm in a BB tubes phase right now.
Good.
I like go through phases. Like sometimes I had like a gem dopamine phase. Do you ever use that?
I had a phase.
It's a certain sound.
I had the 500 series thing that's based off of.
Oh.
And then I sold it because I was like, this is.
I mean, it's crispy.
Scary. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, but sometimes that's what you want.
It does the thing, and then I ask myself like, okay, are there other, I guess, more controlled ways I can like get that kind of same thing?
Yeah.
The answer is obviously yes.
Yeah.
But that is like, I mean, I still will like grab it sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of times when they're like, I know what they're saying is CLA vocals.
Yeah.
And like, I'll just like use that instead.
Yeah. I always like forget that CLA vocals is good.
Yeah.
Like I'll pull it up and be like, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah. Like it does a thing you either love or hate.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. And some people hate it and some people love it. And I think there's like certain times where like, I've been doing this long enough where people are describing what they want. I'm like, okay, I know what you want.
Yeah.
You just want that sound. It's a sound that I don't personally love. But if people love it, like that's, to each their own.
I just started using RVox again. I don't know why.
It's so good.
It's just like awesome. I'm like, wait, I do that all the time. I fall like in and out of phases with plugins, and I'll pull up an old session and be like, oh, what was I doing?
Right. It's like I forgot this plugin.
Yeah.
Yep. I started using our comp again because
I like don't really use that much.
Yeah, I like never really got into it, but then I got I'm doing some vocal production for an artist that I'm not actually recording them. I'm just, I guess it's more vocal editing, but I'm like comping and tuning for them. And the guy who's producing it, like he had, every time he sent me one, he's using our comp. And I like turned it off and I was like, oh, like this is doing a thing that I really enjoy. And I basically like, I stole the settings that he was using for it. And I was like, I've been kind of like, you start from there and you tweak, but I'm like, oh, this is like doing a nice little thing. It's like a 4:1 ratio. It's only like compressing it like 3 to whatever. And I think it's on the opto setting. It's basically doing an LA2A thing. But I'm like, this is very pleasing. Yeah. And like, I don't have to like think of it anything more than that other than like, I like this. Yeah. So therefore.
There's a few songs. Last year I put the API 2500 bus compressor on the vocal and like it sounded good. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like
whatever.
Like this is gonna, and like the mixer doesn't know.
No.
Maybe they do.
Who cares? There's no rule. It sounds good. It sounds good.
Yeah.
That's all it is at the end of the day. Okay, so I want to go into our song deep dive here. Our first song that we're gonna start with is Sabrina Sterling's "Take a Shot." I don't know if we've ever spoken about this. I love that song.
Thank you.
I remember I first heard it because you posted about it, obviously, because you wrote and produced it, and I've always been a fan of your production, but I think that was like one of the first times where I was like, I'm gonna sound so old and young. I was like, this guy cooked. Like it's, I don't know, I really love it. It's got like a fucking postal servicey thing in there that like really hits me in the right way. But what was that? Did you co-write that with her? I know she kind of writes a lot by herself, but like
she does write a lot. That one we started in the room.
Okay.
But that's the only time her and I have done that.
Oh, okay.
Like typically she's bringing in a verse and a chorus, and we're doing maybe second verse together. Our splits are like different every time. But like, yeah, that one like we just like sat down and like she can still like I don't remember what happened in the room, but like I'm pretty sure I wasn't writing a lot of lyrics.
Right.
I think it was like editing. We made some melodies together. I think I remember being like, we should repeat this lyric in the chorus. It's all like kind of one.
Right.
It just, my brain turns off and then, but yeah, that one I think we started and finished most of it in a day.
Damn, yeah.
And then we took a few more days to like redo things, but.
Yeah. No, it sounds great. My first question about it is that initial kind of like repeaty sound. Do you remember like what that was or like?
I was listening on the way here.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that was like the Diva, Yuhi Diva plugin or whatever. Just like, it could be a different synth plugin, but it's just like something that I was messing around with and just like, you can get that sound on most synths.
Right. Was it something that like you resampled and like had it repeating, or it was just
no, it was like a straight up synth.
Okay. Cool.
That I think I then added a bunch of plugins to.
Okay.
And I know that I ended up bouncing down a few of them and then like throwing on like a verb, like a Valhalla verb, and then doing. I think I did. You know the Arturia Mellow-Fi plugin?
Yeah. Oh,
I think I did the tape.
Sleep on that.
The tape slowdown button, and then like flipped it and reversed it. So
cool.
the sound coming in is like boom, 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 and then it turns into the. Yeah. I was doing that all over that song for the transitions. Just like
it felt right. Like everything. Like whenever I heard everything, I was like, "No, this feels like it's exactly what it's supposed to do." And like I think maybe this is like the mind fuck, right? But because of those like tape sounds, I feel like, was this sampled? Like what is happening?
Because it was. I guess it was sampled, but then it turns into something that wasn't sampled.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's really cool. I mean, I just like love little sounds like that. My other question was the breakbeat. That's kind of. The song. What's the story behind that? Is it something you made? Is it a loop you found?
I like never do that. Yeah. That's something we made. I think I was using, this is like so random, but do you ever use Battery?
Yeah, of course.
I was using like a Battery. Do you know Mike Robinson? It's like amazing producer in Nashville.
No, but
he's like a good friend of mine. He's so incredible. He gave me all of his Battery packs.
Sick.
And I still pull from them sometimes, but I'm pretty sure I was using like 2 or 3 different packs that he made. And I think I just had a lot of coffee that day. It's like it's like the cold brew that I just finished. It's like that song to me is like, oh, I was drinking a lot of cold brew. Yeah. It's like so fast.
Yeah.
I never do breakbeat. I was thinking of, I do remember this. There's a song. This is like the most random inspiration for a breakbeat, but Side Effects by Carly Hansen.
Yeah.
When I go like the rim hits, it's the same thing. It's just like double time. It's like and I was just like on like drugs, I guess. Right. I was like,
and so is that something you like wrote in, or you actually played it in?
It was MIDI. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We played it in the room.
I think that's the beauty of Battery.
Yeah.
I think it's why like I tend to use battery a lot, or I use Ableton Sampler, which is essentially the same thing. It's for like to name drop, and listeners are gonna like this. Like Phineas, like for a while up until Logic had their sampler, was like mostly using battery.
Yeah.
And like
Logic Sampler I use most of the time.
yeah, exactly, because it's there.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact that you can like play things in, and I think it's like my brain at least thinks very differently when I'm playing something in versus like drawing something in.
Yeah.
And
I'm almost always for drums playing.
Yeah. I try and start by playing it in, and then if I'm like, there's something that I'm like, oh, I should like move this over here, like I'll move it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I try and tell people like, if you can play it in, like play it in. You're gonna like do things that like
just little velocity things,
right? And like those things do matter. I think it's what makes I think it's why like that breakbeat that was there like feels human and like a loop in the best way.
That's the thing, because that song too, because sometimes I'll play through the whole song,
right?
But for that song, I was like, I want it to sound a little loopy, so I think I got like 2 bars and then just like looped.
Yeah, I mean that's why breakbeats are breakbeats, right? It's like it's supposed to be a loop.
Yeah,
and you're like,
it would have been weird if it was too human, but there was a sweet spot.
Yeah. You find it. So when that breakbeat's going, it's like kind of sounds filtered throughout the verse, and then in the chorus it opens up. So were you adding layers, or were you just opening up the filter for that, if you remember?
I'm 90% sure I had separate tracks, and that I had like a verse. I basically duplicated the track.
Right.
On the verse, I have like an EQ that does automate, and then the chorus had no automation.
Okay.
That was just like, for me, a lot of times I'm duplicating verses.
It's just faster.
I just like don't like automation everywhere, and then you can't like do as much.
Yeah.
So I try to like limit that. But yeah, I think there's like 3, because I think I made a different one for the post. There's like 3 tracks of like the same battery with like different plugins, which is like a weird, and maybe probably when I sent them to mix, I maybe made it all one. Or,
yeah, and well, for them, they can either choose to split it or not, and like that's less stems for people is usually better.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I just like choose to like, figure out what this is after. When you're in drum world in Logic, right? I know sometimes this is like a problem when you send it out to mixers, but like, are you using a drum bus, or you like to just keep it on tracks?
I'm trying to not, and this is just for workflow with mixing.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But it's like, there's some things you can only do on a drum bus.
Right.
Like saturating things in relationship to other things or compressing things. So like I've come around where now I'll do a little bit, but I try to make the stems sound like as finished as possible without the bus.
Yeah.
And then I had a few experiences where the mixer asked me to bounce things through the drum bus, but without the rest of the stuff. So I'm like, it's going to be different, but it sounded good. And I was like, oh, like they made this sound good without like the compression being quote unquote sidechained to the other stuff. So I don't know. I'm like still learning, but
yeah, there's different ways. I think it's like in conversations I've had with other producers and mixers that like kind of the way to go around that. That's why I was curious about your take. Is that like, yeah, if you end up using a drum bus, because yes, drum buses sometimes they do a thing. All my drum buses are doing a thing.
Yeah.
You turn off my drum bus on any of my songs, those are now different drums.
A lot of times I'll just send the bus.
Right. So you can
like
either
a crazy move.
You can either take screenshots of the bus, and be like, hopefully you have these same plugins or something similar. You can hear it. I think it's really important to like, even though if they might not use it, but like send a bounce of the drum bus.
Yeah.
So they can hear what it's doing. It's like, okay, what's this? And they can kind of like A/B and go back and forth. And running your stems through it, so giving them like, again, it takes time. There's like AI tools that can help with this a lot now. But like running your stems through the drum bus and then also giving them the dry ones just so they have like, my goal, and I think everyone's goal with like having songs be mixed is like, you don't want them to go back to you to like ask for things.
Yeah, I try to have everything.
Yeah, just like give them fucking everything, and then it's just like it makes everyone's life easier.
Yeah. It
makes it easier so when they're doing their thing and being creative, they don't have to like stop and be like, ah, shit, I need this thing from the human.
And I want them to open the session and it just sounds identical. Like I want them to start where I finished.
Yep.
And then that's something I learned a few years ago. Yeah. Because I used to give people like just dry stuff and let them rebuild. And I'm like, that's making everyone's life harder. And then we're doing more revisions. And it's like the artist is happy with this.
Right. This is where music production is now, is that like producers are really the first mixers.
Yeah.
It's like, it wasn't like that for a long time, where if you like, even 10 years ago, right? Like you heard where productions were and where they were mixes. Like a lot of times it's like, oh my God, these are like 2 different songs. And now it's like, no. Like producers, because of the tools and technology, we're taking our mixes so much further. And mixers are really just like shaping and just like kind of making everything work together better. And then mastering engineers are just like making it a little bit louder, making the EP or the album work together. This is more for our listeners, not for Andrew here. But it's that's the real difference. And I think giving the mixer as much of like the finished product as possible is so important. Obviously it's easier because most of these guys are in Pro Tools, sending them a Pro Tools session. But if you're not in Pro Tools, like giving them the options is like
it's such a weird time probably for mixers to like, because some of the world's best mixers are receiving like old, like, oh, this is like a studio recording of drums, live drums. I have to use like the ancient techniques.
Right.
And then sometimes they're getting like the stems that we're talking about where it's like sounds completely done. Oh, this snare has like been compressed and saturated and sound, I like, can barely touch it.
Right.
And then like it feels like an entirely different school of thought of like, am I doing like little polishing? Usually I'll send it in an email and then I'll include it in the folder. I'll add a text thing. Do you do this?
Yes.
I add text and I zip it in there. So it has to make it to the mixer because sometimes when there's labels, I don't know. And in there, it's like all my thoughts. And usually I'm saying like, we're happy with the mix. We're looking for final polishing, finishing touches, like 90% of the time. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know about this sound. Can you try something here?
Yeah.
It's just like my little like sneaky.
Yeah. I think it's like, it's why I always prefer to use mixers who I work with a lot.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, this is going to be easier for everyone.
Yeah.
Me and this mixer have a shorthand. They know what I'm looking. They understand that like I'm just looking for you to clean this up. I don't want anything different. Like again, like we're happy.
Sometimes I think the stems that I make are better for certain mixers.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I work with an amazing mixer and I'm like, I don't know, like my guy that's like indie like does better.
Yeah. It's
not always.
It's
but,
taste at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm like we're like compatible, like producer and mixer.
And I think that's what like is important for sometimes people to understand, like whether it's producers, mixers, artists, whatever, where it's like sometimes you work with a mixer and like you can be a fan of mixes they've done. Mm-hmm. You can be they can be the biggest mixer, the littlest mixer, it doesn't matter. And sometimes it just doesn't work out because it's a taste thing or they like don't understand what the vision is, and like that's not a slight against anyone. It's that like you have different visions, you're not quite getting it, and like you just move on. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes it's like mixers or producers like knowing when to bow out is really important. But without naming names, like I got a first mix back, and I've been doing this long enough where it's like I can usually tell right away that like this is not going to work out.
Yeah, like you could do 4 revisions.
And it's like, but if you're so far off on that first one, it's like, oh, you don't know what we're trying to go for.
Yeah.
And it's like, I could maybe get you there over the course of a month. Mm-hmm. But at that point, it's like, I could have just mixed it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I try and attack it pretty easily where it's like, I'm asshole. I don't know. I'll email the team and be like, guys, I don't know if this is it.
Yeah.
Like, we're just going to waste a lot of time and like trying to get this mix here. Let's just use someone who I know can knock this out quickly and efficiently.
It's tough because sometimes like the team or the label has somebody that they are like, well, this guy does everything.
Right.
And it's like, sometimes I like try to respect that, but then we are doing like 7 mixes.
Right.
And then I'm like,
it's like, this is going to suck.
Like, this isn't amazing. And then we're talking about good mixers, probably, I'm assuming. For me, I'm like thinking of a guy who's like amazing and sometimes has crushed it for me. But sometimes I'm like, this isn't the right genre. Or it isn't the right... It's fine. Like,
and it's fine. Yeah.
I can't produce every genre.
And I think sometimes like people take it as a slight against them, like whether it's an A&R who picked up the mixer or like the artist. It's like, no, it's fine. It's like no one is in the wrong here. It's just like it just didn't work out. It's like you set your friend up on a date and it's like, all right.
Well, it happens to us all the time too.
Right,
like sometimes I'm like, please have someone else produce this song.
Right.
That sounds amazing.
Right.
Like, if it's going to be better, like.
I mean, listen, I'm happy to bow out when I'm like, I'm not nailing this. Like, let's give it to so-and-so to like finish up and like, hopefully, because at the end of the day, like I know I try and like live my music life at thinking everyone really wants to do what's best for the song. Mm-hmm. Are there people who are assholes who have an ego? Sure. But I really do believe that like everyone who's working on a record, from the publicist to the producer to the artist, it's like everyone is here to make this record as good as it can be. And like, yes, we all have like different opinions on how that can be. But if everyone has that same goal, I'm able to be a lot more kind to everyone in that situation. Another one of the best parts of this song, and a lot of your production and writing, is the harmonies in the record. The layers there. When you're recording with an artist, I mean, you come up with amazing harmonies and you're an amazing singer yourself. What's that, whether it's with Sabrina or any artist in general, what's your usual workflow with that, with like coming up with harmonies?
A lot of times So I feel like I come from a music theory heavy background. I like studied a lot of jazz. I know all the numbers, and I'm thinking of the intervals and the numbers always. And I used to think like there's like a correct and an incorrect way, but now I'm like broadening, like there's just stuff that sounds good and doesn't sound good.
Right.
A lot of times an artist will push me, like I feel like I can very quickly come up with a harmony that will sound good. And like I've been told I'm a good vocal producer, and like there is a little bit of an art to making an artist feel safe enough to try things and knowing what you can fix after and what you can't, like not making them do a million takes, but then also like pushing them to get the best out of them. And I feel like that's one of my strengths. So like, but with someone like Sabrina's really good at coming up with weird ideas. Right. So there was a good balance, I think. This session was a couple of years ago, but like, I'm pretty sure it was like a 50-50 split of like, she wants to try something and I'm like, I don't know if that'll work, but like, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. And I won't say that in the room because I don't want to kill the vibe, but I'll be like, sure.
Yeah.
And then like, or if I can tell that she wants something weird, and this goes for every artist, like sometimes they want a weird harmony and they're trying something, but it's not working. I'm like, then I go into my numbers and I'm like, oh, that should be like the 2. And then just like sing it real quick for them. And like, can you try this?
Or even it's like, just sing it and then like, we'll do it, and then let me be like, oh, can I tune this really quick and like show you what I'm hearing, and then I'll go in. I personally, I'll do like a very like bad tuning job in Melodyne, just be like, hey, here's what I think it should be, and then they're like, oh shit, and then they sing it like that again too.
It depends on the artist too. Like sometimes people need, or they work better if they aren't thinking at all, and you can just like spoon feed them, and they have sometimes people want to sing to a complete reference, or I'll throw a vocal in, and then other times I'm like, you're so good, I don't want to get in the way. Where I'm hitting record, like
again, it depends.
Yeah, it really, it's just like listening to, knowing their skills. I think so much of collaborating is like getting something good out of someone else, and that, which is an art in itself. It's with writing and production. It's like it's not like how good of a melody can I write. It's like how good of a melody can I get you to write.
Yep.
And I mean sometimes I'm doing nothing. Right. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know, but it's the same with vocal production.
It's just guided. Yeah, and I think the best vocal producers are the ones that are open to experimenting and just like being flexible, I think is the real one. Like understanding that like, all right, yeah, if you need me to like write every harmony because you'll do every harmony is like great, but it's also exactly like you said, like you're so good, I'm just gonna hit record. Yeah. And just like be amazed by how fucking good you are. Yeah. And like that's
which
the
is
job.
Its own skill, funny enough, because like when I was younger, I would try to get in there.
Right.
And I'm like making it worse.
Yep.
And like a good producer will know when to do nothing, and when
it's like get out of the way. I have a rule that I really try, and like unless I'm like I have an idea that I'm like I just have to say this or else I'm gonna forget it. Yeah. But like for the most part, when we're doing harmonies or when we're doing ad libs and stuff, I try and like my hardest, which is so hard for me, to like not say anything. I really try and give them some takes to just like do things without any input. Yeah. And then once we get those takes, then I'll start like being like, okay, why don't you try this? So we get a little bit of like both worlds of like, cool, this is all you. This is a little bit more me. This is a collaboration. Oh, you did this and it made me think of this, and now it's going to be this, right? Yeah. It's like
there's the sweet spot. I think about vocal production so much. There's a sweet spot of how much you can say in total before somebody is trying to hold too many ideas in their head and they lose the emotion. And then there's the balance of sometimes you have a co-writer who's very active in the vocal process, and you may agree or disagree with what they're saying, but they might get you closer to that threshold of like, this is the maximum amount of notes you can give, like low key. And they might understand that and they might not understand that. And it's like, okay, because the co-writer asked you to try this melody, I can only tell you 1 or 2 things right now, or you're going to sing it worse. Yep. It's like such an art.
Oh, it's controlling the room is like such a, I mean, it's a rep thing. You only learn it by like doing it a bunch and like having those experiences.
Yeah, and every singer has their own threshold of, because sometimes you ever work with like the musical theater people who can just their voice, you can do anything with them. And I'm like, you are an instrument. Yep. And that's like you learn that pretty quick, and you're like, oh, I could be like try scooping here and then adding vibrato at the end of that, and then going. And they can just do it. And I'm like, who are you? Like, you're crazy. Yeah. But then sometimes they can't do any of that, and that's okay. Like, both people can be amazing. But
you have to, I think to be a good vocal producer, you have to be extremely empathetic to the singer.
Yeah. I think the singer has to feel safe the whole time.
Yes, they have to feel safe. And it's like, you know, I've been in situations where like I've had to be the bad guy with the other people in the room. Yeah. Where it's like, I do it quietly, where I usually side text them. Yeah. And I'm like,
I've been in those.
Yeah. It's like, guys, it's like, give them a second.
Yeah. Sometimes like, I'm like, is there a way? Or sometimes I know going in where I'm like, if it's like we're doing a second day to finish up vocals and the writer's like, oh, I can come sometimes. Sometimes they're great.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, you ever work with Thomas Daniel?
No.
He's so good. He's in Nashville.
Yeah.
I just like let him take the reins.
Great. Yeah.
He is a vocal producer. He deserves production.
Right.
Like I'll give him production whenever I can. Like sometimes I'm like, you're better than me.
Yeah.
Not that that's like a crazy concept,
No.
but it's like you're not the producer and you're producing more than I could. So, and then other times I'm like, I got to find a way to get this artist in here without the writer.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. That's just all part of it.
It's all, yeah, it's really delicate.
Yeah.
You know, I sometimes just find like in general, I mean, you know me pretty well. Like I'm a super honest, like upfront person, and like honesty is the best thing. And sometimes I'll like tell people like, hey, I think it like let's book another day where you come in and give us, but like I think I just needs to be me and the artist.
Yeah.
Because they felt like they it's nothing that you did. They just need that like safe space to just like be vulnerable and like not have everyone shouting things at them.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to do. I think songwriters sometimes forget how hard it is to be an artist.
Yeah.
And like, especially in a songwriting session where it's like everyone is throwing you 20 ideas.
Yeah.
And that's so anxiety
Yeah.
inducing.
There is, I mean, I work a lot with artists one-on-one.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I specialize with those artists that maybe are worse at taking the wheel.
Yeah.
And having that like the intuitive feeling of like, I can tell that the artist is thinking about this idea right now and they're not sure and like they just need some space.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of times it's like for those artists, I'm like, let's just get one-on-one. Or there's certain co-writers who I'm like, they know how to do that.
Right. Yeah.
And then other co-writers will just spit out a million amazing melodies.
Right.
And it's like that would stress this artist out, but another artist needs that.
It's building rooms is so important.
Yeah.
And it's like that's also like another just like job producers have is A&Ring.
Yeah.
And it's like understanding that it's like, hey, what do you think about this person in this room? It's like, I love that person. Like, I don't know if they're going to be a good fit in this room.
Mm-hmm.
We're pausing here on the free feed, but the conversation keeps going on our Patreon. Become a Producer Pal subscriber, and you'll get the full episode plus everything else we've got going on over there. The more Producer Pals we get, the more content we can create for our subscribers. You can find the link in the show notes. All right, back to finish the rest of the episode.
Before I let you go, another thing we ask every single one of our producers and guests here is what's like a small piece of advice that like you give that now or someone gave you that like you wish you would have heard when you first started producing?
Oh, there's like a million
Yeah, of
things.
course.
There's like 1 billion things. The biggest thing that I think I was told and that I'm still trying to do is like having the entire focus of my career be on becoming a better producer and just being a sponge and learning. And it's like, how can I learn the fastest? Because like being a producer, there's an insane learning curve. It's like a 10-year curve and an investment that you have to make. And like, once you get to the end, like it's totally worth it. But like those early days are tough. And like sometimes even now I get into this flow of like, I know how to make this song sound good, so I'm just going to do the stuff that I know. When like I have to push myself to like, no, there's more to learn. Like there's all the mic techniques to learn. There's all this stuff about gear. It's like copying other producers, learning, asking questions. Like that should be like the number one, I think, which is like obvious, but like also not like.
No, it's people are surprised when like I tell them like, yeah, I still like watch like almost every mix with the masters. They're like, you're still watching that? I'm like, yeah, of course I fucking am. Like,
yeah, these people know so much.
Yeah.
I'm like, it blows my mind. Like the amount of work that people have put into becoming a good producer, and they just know like the amount of knowledge it's like you have to know everything.
Yeah.
It's like you have to know how to mic every instrument and how to make every emotion. It's like crazy, like.
Yeah, it's just like I think what it even like kind of what you're saying and something that I relate to is like you never want to turn off your curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the second that you turn off your curiosity as a producer is when your career is probably going to die.
Yeah.
Is that you have to constantly be curious and constantly be pushing yourself. And I think that's like how you get someone like Max Martin who can have a 30, 40-year career.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, like I don't know many producers that have longer than a 5 or 10-year career. Like
same with artists.
Successfully.
Same with artists. It's like
any creative field. It's like that's the kind of thing you just have to like be open to like curiosity and being proven wrong and trying new things. Otherwise, it's just like it ain't gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I love that piece of advice. Well, before I let you go, and if you don't want to say anything, I can cut this part out. Before I let you go, is there anything that you want to like plug, something that you've been working on that's going to be coming out over the next few months once this episode is released?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in a weird space with touring because I'm gone. I'm about to leave for 2 months. So I'm in this strange spot where I'm like stoked on some songs that are coming out, but they're like, there's not as the flow is completely broken up.
Right.
I'm doing 3 songs on Sarah Kay's project. Do you know her?
Nice. I don't know personally, but yeah,
I think they're really cool.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting super, like, it's not really experimental, but it feels like it's just been me and her writing, and then it feels like both of us wrote the song, and it's like she's looking to switch up her sound a little bit, and like it just feels like you took our ideas and just put them in one, and we use some crazy key changes and crazy chords, but it also is not like there's like music theory nerd stuff in there, but
doesn't feel too out of balance.
Yeah, it's not too. I think if you were listening, it's like the way that there's like a key change in the Sabrina Carpenter song in the second verse.
Right.
What song is that? I forget.
No, I know what you're talking about.
That we have a song. This is like so. I'm just gonna.
Nope.
A typical key change in a song will do what is it? 3 half steps. You'll go up to like from like a C major to essentially C minor.
Right.
But we did one where we're like, I want it to sound like you're entering a new dimension. So we did 4 half steps up, which is like so weird. Like between like those keys, there's like no notes.
Right. There's like no like passing chord or note that you
there's like
that's theory talk.
There's
right?
like
to,
2
make
notes.
It pleasing, right?
There's like the 7 and the 3.
Right.
And we do this moment, and there's like I think I put like a harp swell into it, and you're just like, and you're in this whole new universe for the chorus.
Yeah, sick.
And it's like the team was like, "This is awesome," and I'm like, "Hell yeah!" Like I'm so glad that you guys are down to do this.
More taking risks with that shit
because it's sick, and everybody who in the song is insane, and the song's called "Too Many Drugs."
Yeah. Okay, there you go. So it makes sense.
And it's like you do too many drugs.
I really,
like, what do you mean?
I really think that like artists like Sabrina Carpenter who like have pushed the bounds a little bit with like making things a little bit more have a little bit more musicality, for lack of a better term.
Yeah,
is like it's opened up so many people because I for years and listeners know this because I have like a little like annoyance about it where it's like for years before it became popular I was like guys the 5/7 chord's dope. Yeah, and like I was always trying to put it into songs that everyone's like, I don't know, that sounds too music theory. And then like it's like in so many fucking songs now. I was like, God damn it!
It is funny, like the trends, of like what everyone's doing.
Yeah, how it goes. But I think it's awesome where it's like I'm always a big music theory guy. I love trying to like push the bounds and like experiment with chords and see what we can do. And like I felt a big shift in the last like 2 years, I feel like, where for a while like people were not open to it, and now I feel like people are like a lot more like, okay, no, we can like do things like this and like take a little bit more risks and do it. So anyway, that's awesome. Well, everything you need to know about Andrew will be in the show notes. You can hear his work, see what he's working on whenever this episode is released. Maybe this Sarah song will be out. I don't know when this episode's coming out, so we'll find out. Otherwise, thank you to Andrew for coming. Thank you to our listeners, and take care, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to Producer Points. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a rating, and share it with someone who loves music as much as you do. A huge thank you to our team, Nathan Rebello and Elijah Shepard. You can check out all the songs we've talked about on our Producer Points Spotify playlist. And if you want the full episode, join the Producer Pals community on Patreon. Links in the notes. Until next time, this is Justin Gamella.